Good afternoon, traders. It is still Monday, January the 4th. I'm John Hoagland, filling in for Dan the Man Hodgman. As always, thanks for trusting us with your time. Very interesting trading day today. Dan was going to be doing the forecast, or the recap, I should say, but he had a little bit of a technical problem, so I'm going to fill in for him. I'm sure he will be ready and raring to go for you tomorrow for the recap. As always, again, thanks for trusting us with your time. Well, first full trading day of the year turned out to be a little bit of a somber day today. Our equities hitting the skids to the downside a little bit today. A lot of people in the news kind of discussing the fact that some of the COVID lockdowns, really bad numbers as far as COVID morbidity today. The Georgia election runoff that is due tomorrow, also weighing heavily on traders' minds, and maybe the market's just a little bit overbought. Perhaps maybe some of the political uncertainty is finally getting into the marketplace. It did offer some pretty good downside opportunities this morning, and if you watch the forecast, tried to kind of say, watch that opening range today in our equities. Our opening range may be a pretty good indication of buyer or seller control right off the opening, and these sellers certainly did come in right on the open and drive these markets considerably lower, offering really good opportunities to the downside. Although, it seems as though by the time the markets are ready to turn around and head to the downside, most of our shorter time frame traders have given up on that. It seems as though, like my dad said, in the market always looks the best at the top and worst at the bottom. So we don't know what we have going forward here in any given day. There's no for sure's, there's no absolutes in futures trading. We're going to be always focusing on what we're seeing on the charts and offering ourselves the best opportunity to limit our risk. As far as crude prices also tumbling on possible demand questions with the whole COVID thing, with political uncertainty going on. Apparently, the OPEC meeting is being pushed into or through tomorrow before they come up with any real solid, ideas on when they may start to increase production. They're talking about continuing decreased production for another month, and the way crude acted today, if you want to sell crude at a higher price, I would say that's probably going to have to be something that's going to be on your mind. Gold prices firm up as the dollar still kind of lags underneath that 90 mark. It's a little bit higher today, but perhaps a little bit of fear coming into the marketplace as gold and our other metals move to the upside. Most of the move in the upside in gold happened in the overnight session, but it really did not give much of that back. We're going to see that in the charts here very shortly. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we do go live. Good afternoon, Felix. I hope everybody had a good start today as well. Daryl, good to see you. Tanya, sorry you're stuck with me again. Dan's going to be with you again tomorrow for the recap. James, good to talk to you today. Mike, Tanya, no Dan. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Hey, Tanya, I appreciate it. John, JD, the Dancing Bear. Dancing Bear probably had a good day today, I'm guessing. Rich B, and Momo, and tomorrow when you wake up, the algos will have moved the markets to the upside. We never know. We never know, do we, Momo? Although, after being around these equities for as long as I have, there's nothing that surprises me as these equities can show extreme resilience. There's no bad news. They just tend to go higher. Prophet Eon, Main Point Ideas, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Just signed a premium funded account today. Way to go, Prophet Eon. Very good. Very happy for you. We're looking forward to your continued success. Take your time, Prophet Eon. You got a lot of time. Remember, this is a marathon and not a sprint. It seems so kind of passe or or kind of cliche to say that these days, but it is still so true. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts here and take a look at what happened. I'm still suffering from my technology issues here, so we're going to get this going right here. And here we have the daily in crude, and off we go. So pretty good move to the upside as there was rumors that OPEC was going to continue their production cuts for another month. Obviously, that did not happen. The market attempted to break out and hold above this balance area. It was unable to do so, bringing forth a pretty decent move to the downside. When we talk about watching the opening range, boy, today was a good one in the crude oil as well. The opening range was the dead high of the day, up against a previous weekly kickoff level. Once the market was unable to hold above that, the market really just kind of drove lower, balanced, continued driving lower, and seems to still be dragging along the bottom as we speak. I was going to talk about the profiles a little bit today. Here's the crude oil market profile here for today. Here's all of last week. Very range bound, very narrow ranges. We opened higher. I put a little box up here. This box represents the first minute of trade today. When that first minute broke out to the downside, if you took a short there, put your stop above the high there, you had a really decent opportunity for continuation to the downside. It's really how the market worked today in our equities as well. Let's take a look at those. Let's take a look at the mini S&Ps. Here's the daily. We did put in a new all-time high in extended trading hour session, so we've got that looking forward to us. The market usually does not like to leave extreme highs or extreme lows unrechecked in the overnight session. So we've got another overnight high. Going to be looking for that to be taken out in the regular trading hour session at some point. That's a good sign. Another good sign as well, we're still holding higher lows and we're holding higher highs in extended trading hours. We talked about this morning this weekly kickoff level and this extension level, this whole area up here being a pretty decent resistance level. And again, in the S&Ps this morning, the opening range was the high of the session. We never traded above that first minute of trade, and boy, this market really drove to the downside. There were plenty of opportunities to look for profit targets on the way down here this morning. I was really looking for the point of control from yesterday, from Thursday, which was right down here. But boy, there was a lot more to go in this move to the downside before the market really finally fell into some sort of an area of balance. The Nasdaq, similar situation. The one thing I do want to point out, I guess, here in the S&Ps is we're a little bit further away, I think, from, I wonder where my S&P, my daily chart went. Oh, there it is. We're a little bit further away from a market state change, in my opinion. Some were going to say that the market state had a bit of a change today, but down below this 3,700 level. But our weekly kickoff low is considerably lower, whereas in the Nasdaq, we actually tested our weekly kickoff low today on the way down. We did not accept. We found support there. We've recovered some of that, but still, we're putting in higher lows. We're still putting in higher highs. I'm not seeing that we've broken market state as bad as maybe some others might be. There goes the charts. Let me get those back up again. We're working on it. We are going to get these things straightened out for everybody. And here we go. Going to make sure we got the charts, and there they are. Okay, so here's our test of weekly kickoff low. The market really just took a nosedive. Again, Opening range, the high of the regular trading hour session. When you see this possibility, boy, it sure can bring some great opportunities for us, as it did today. Straight from the opening range to a support level, and just a kind of maybe a bit of a dead cat bounce back off that support level down there. We're gonna have to see. All right, gold. We mentioned that most of the move in gold happened in the overnight. It broke out above our weekly kickoff high, never looked back. We're looking at 1950. I think it was actually 1951 or 1952, which was a previous weekly kickoff level with which to possibly find some resistance. We didn't quite get there today. But remember, everything is a zone in futures trading. There's nothing that's absolutely finite. Here's our weekly kickoff high. The market broke above it, found support, continued to bring in buyers throughout the better part of the day. And then, again, finding some resistance, at least here at this 1950, 1951 or two previous weekly kickoff level. I'm going to be watching this level very closely for the rest of, at least for tomorrow. If it's in the neighborhood, I'll be watching that level. All right. Here's the euro. Not a overwhelmingly big day. Last week we had very low volume, but that's to be expected due to the holiday. A little bit higher volume today. Be interested to see what the open interest looks like tomorrow, but almost an inside day. We looked at these triple tops up here as possible weaknesses in unfinished upside auctions. We didn't get the chance to take a look at them in the regular trading hours. We'll look at those perhaps as the week goes on, but here they are, 1, 2, 3. The market opening, lots of longs overnight here. Those overnight longs unable to take the market above those three tops that we put in here in the regular trading hour session, I'd have to say. We got real close to breaking out of those 1, 2, 3. Those are really very closely put together and not necessarily indicative of a finished upside auction. So we had some overnight longs that brought this market back down towards settlement, basically coming back to value high from Thursday, again, I should say. It's going to be interesting to see how these markets play out as we go on through the week. And as we go on through the week, I think we're going to get a little bit more clarity on some of the directions that these markets are attempting to go. It's the beginning of the year. It's the first of the year. We're all starting fresh. And in the Japanese yen, we had the market test weekly kickoff high, unable to get a true test of it within just a tick and a half of that weekly kickoff high before falling back. We're still in upside. We're still in good. What's the word I'm looking for? Structure, as far as the medium time frame is concerned. Look at the 30. The market, again, settlement was down here. We had a lot of longs in this market up against resistance. The market then, finally gives up, comes back. Our final overnight longs bring the market almost back down to settlement, basically to point of control right here, before just falling into just a nothing, very narrow, very small, almost a no opportunity situation once this market fell back into balance. So these things are definitely ambiguous. We never know what's going to happen. That's why we're always talking about the context of the market. What is the bigger picture? What is the market attempting to do? Is there a direction to the market? If there is a direction, how good of a job is it doing actually going that direction? So we're always thinking about those things. And first of all, that's the context. And we're always thinking about risk management. As far as news is concerned, most of everything that I'm seeing is basically saying the S&Ps and the Nasdaq and the Dow sliding on the COVID, on economic, and on political uncertainties. There's Carl Icahn has said that he's thinking that we're going to have some sort of correction here at the beginning of the year here with everything that is going on. It's it's anybody's guess, but it's up to us to really try and find good trading location in any direction. Most of the things that we're talking about are, this Georgia runoff, worries over the Georgia elections, the virus surge, all of the same things that we've been hearing about for so long, and just, they keep bubbling up, they keep knocking us down, But as we all are well aware, and I've seen over and over again, that traders have very short memories. If there's no bad news, and believe me, there could be a lot going on this week that could be construed as bad news, at least initially. Anything that brings uncertainty to the marketplace is going to be viewed that way. So, let's see what we got here. Wall Street begins 2021 with a sell-off, Dow dropping 500 points. In 1987, on the market crash in 1987, we lost, I think it was 504 points, but it was like half of the price. 500 points today seems like a hiccup. It doesn't even break our market state, if you ask me. It seems so big, but it's, so far, not anything that I'm going to be that concerned about. But again, Carl Icahn warns that the market rally could end in a painful correction. Whatever. We're going to be ready for whatever happens because we are all good risk managers. And that's really about it. I mean, they're talking about Bitcoin falling as record-breaking rally loses steam. Well, excuse me, my goodness. I didn't really see any huge break in Bitcoin today. I don't know if you did, but that's what they're saying in the news. Must be true. And then, so we've got the Georgia runoff tomorrow. We've got the Congress going through the voting for the president, or at least verifying it on Wednesday. So lots going on, lots in the news. What am I looking at here? The Electoral College on Wednesday, the FOMC Wednesday. There's a lot going on. Anyways, we always like to say hello to everybody, and I'm sorry if I think I kind of already did. We got some more comments here. Richie B says the tick today made a great entry. Tanya shorted the Nasdaq early and had a nice trade, but closed around 9 o'clock because she wasn't sure what the news would do, and didn't want to give back the early gains. Happy with it, but boy, that moved down after. Well, you know what, Tanya? It's the right attitude to have. I mean, you had a plan for the trade. You put the trade on. You had a great trade. Once the trade is over, it's time to look for the next opportunity, the next thing to do. We have poor lows below in the ES. Do you think we will go lower? Well, Golden Rose, there's a lot of unfinished or weak structure in the S&Ps, but a lot of it is way far below. And if we do head that direction, that's when those things are going to become important. There's unfinished downside auctions down below here. Those are likely to be rechecked. I'm not thinking that the move to the downside is going to necessarily be over just yet, and nobody can predict truly with any degree of certainty where the market's going to go from here. It's just all in the uncertainties. We've been dealing with uncertainties for a year in these markets between COVID and the political situation. I think we've become somewhat almost callous to the uncertainties that are out there. So there is certainly unfinished business below. When and where we're going to get to it is anybody's guess. Up or down, as long as it's moving, we will find an opportunity. Bon Bak Nak, good to see you. Golden Rose. Given today's price action, we're going to have to see how the overnight treats this and what the market looks like tomorrow morning. Watch the market forecast. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, when Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays tend to be much more clearer days, at least in the chair that I'm sitting in. Mondays, usually not my best trading days, although I did have a really good trading day today. First day of the year, I was a little bit cautious to really try not to get over my skis too much, get ahead of myself, but ended up having a good day. We'll have to see how things play out tomorrow. And again, watch the market forecast. I'm not sure if I'll have any genius ideas at that time, but once in a while, like those opening range trades today, it was a pretty good idea. All right. Richie B. Up or down? Yes. As long as we stick to our reward over risk. Some people call it risk reward, risk and reward, whatever it is. I like to call it reward over risk. That's what we're here to do, right? Main point, big idea is what will be a good reason why I should make an entry? Well, one of the biggest reasons I make an entry, main point ideas, is because price has gone close enough to an area that I think a change is possible. And I'm not going to have to pay a lot if I'm going to be wrong in that move. If we think that the market is going lower and we just hit the button and sell, we may have to withstand a whole bunch of heat or pain if the market goes against us and then finally goes our way. Sometimes we're going to miss a trade, but the main thing that I'm looking for in any trade that I take is it a cheap trade? Am I going to be risking that much to make that much? That's what I'm looking for. Liquidation break. Momo's thinking liquidation break makes the market stronger. Liquidation break does take sellers out of the marketplace. A very good point, Momo. Very good point. And, there's probably a lot of folks taking some money off the table. They're going to have to pay taxes. They're going to have, there's a myriad of different reasons, motivations, decision-making processes, opinions, ideas, thoughts, and they're all different. And that's what makes these markets so beautiful, is because there's somebody that's out there that's willing to take the other side of your trade because they have the opposite position that you do. And that's what makes these markets so good and so liquid. The Robin Hoods will learn everything always goes up. It's not a strategy. No, it is not. Humbly Fearless. And I love that name, Humbly Fearless. That's a great name because that's what we do. We try and remain humble, grateful, and creative in our trading. Looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings always. As far as this day in history, I didn't really see anything that was all that cool. In 1847, Samuel Colt sells his first revolvers to the U.S. government. 1995, the Republican Party wins control of Congress for the first time in 40 years. 1896 today, Utah enters the Union. 1999, the Euro debuts. 2007, Nancy Pelosi becomes the first female Speaker of the House. 2007. And that's about it for that. And I always like to check this day in music, too. This day in music. And not a lot. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of or know of John McLaughlin. John McLaughlin was a great guitarist who played a lot with Carlos Santana and Jimi Hendrix and Al Di Meola and Jeff Beck. And it's his birthday today, born in 1942. Saw something about Led Zeppelin here. Led Zeppelin. Where is it? No. I thought I saw something about Robert Plant being named the number one. There it is, 2009. Wow. Led Zeppelin singer Robert Plant was voted the greatest voice in rock by listeners of radio station Planet Rock. Plant beat Queen's Freddie Mercury, and Bad Company and Freeze Paul Rogers, and Deep Purple's Ian Gillian for the top spot. All right, that was one for Rocker, if you're here. And that's going to be it. I'm going to call this a recap. Get some good rest. It's only Monday. Have a good night. We got a lot of trading left this week. Lots of uncertainties and opportunities coming our way. So get a good night's sleep, rest up, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll be here at 8 o'clock in the morning for the market forecast. Let's see what we see in the morning. Maybe we can find another good opportunity for us. Trade well.